You're scrolling, drifting through the endless static of the algorithm, waiting for the signal to cut through the noise. Consider, if you will, that you just found the frequency. You've just stepped off the timeline of the everyday, into the space where the forgotten history and the hidden truths finally touch down. There's the story you know, and then there's the airspace we're about to enter. Check your coordinates, because you're heading towards the landing point. Welcome back, friends. Today's story, completely amateur. Picture, if you will, the starting line of the most grueling physical contest on the face of the earth. The year is 1983. The event was the inaugural Sydney to Melbourne ultramarathon. It was a punishing 544-mile foot race across the harsh Australian landscape. The competitors who lined up that morning were exactly who you'd expect. They were world-class athletes, men and women in their prime of their lives, sculpted from hours of training, backed by major sponsors, and outfitted in the latest high-tech running shoes and aerodynamic gear. But then, there was one fella. He was 61 years old. He didn't have a corporate sponsor. He didn't have high-tech running shoes. In fact, he showed up at the starting line wearing a pair of work overalls and heavy boots over rubber galoshes. He was missing his front teeth because he said they rattled too much when he moved. The press car had a field day. The organizers thought it was a joke, or worse, a tragedy waiting to happen. When reporters asked this unassuming elderly potato farmer what he was doing there, he simply smiled. He explained that he had grown up on a sheep farm that was 2,000 acres large, and his family didn't have enough money for horses or tractors. When a violent storm rolled in, it was his job to round up the flock. Sometimes he had to run for 2 or 3 days straight just to catch them all. "I can run this," he told them. The starting gun fired. The elite athletes took off like lightning, their long, graceful strides quickly leaving the old farmer in the dust. He didn't run like them. He had a strange, awkward, low-to-the-ground shuffle. By the end of the first day, he was miles and miles behind the pack. The doctors on hand were genuinely terrified he might drop dead on the highway. But here is where the experts made their miscalculation. You see, in a multi-day race of that magnitude, the athletic strategy was clear. You run for 18 hours and you sleep for 6. That's what the pros did. They found their camps, laid down, and rested their aching muscles. But the farmer in the overalls? He hadn't read the modern training manuals. He didn't know he was supposed to sleep. So he didn't. When the young, sponsored athletes woke up the next morning, they were in for a shock. While they were sleeping, the old man had just kept shuffling along. Through the night, through the cold. He didn't sleep for a second night either, nor a third, nor a fourth. He just kept up that slow, strange, energy-saving trot. By the final stretch of the 544-mile race, the world-class athletes weren't just beaten, they were obliterated. The 61-year-old potato farmer didn't just finish the ultramarathon, he won it. He beat the nearest competitor by nearly 10 hours, shattering the previous record for the distance by almost 2 entire days. And when they handed him the first prize of $10,000, he was genuinely surprised. He didn't even know there was prize money. So he gave every single cent of it away to the other runners who finished after him, keeping nothing for himself. Today, that awkward, slow-moving gait he used is standard practice for endurance runners worldwide. It is known as the Young Shuffle, named after the man who proved that sometimes the race doesn't go to the swift, but to the one who simply forgets to stop. The 61-year-old champion overalls, the legend of the Australian outback, is Cliff Young. And whether you realize it or not, this is the landing point. Viewers, thank you for watching today, The Landing Point. We really appreciate it. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Roadrunner Real Estate. They are a full-service real estate company doing both commercial and residential real estate. They can help you buy, sell, or even lease your properties. So if you're in the market looking for a real estate company, please go out and give them a call. They'll happily help you today. The next thing I'd like to talk about is our social media. Obviously, we have YouTube if you're watching that today. If you haven't done so already, please go out and subscribe. It is completely free to you. There's nothing that you'll be charged or your membership fees, but it does help us out so we can get our latest episodes to you quickly, and you can find out what's going on with YouTube. Our other place that we do a lot of our social media is on our Facebook page, The Landing Point. So please go out and like and subscribe or follow those, I guess I would say, so you get the latest updates. If you're a person that likes to listen to stories as you're out on the drive, we have our podcast. You can find The Landing Point out there, and it can be on most services. So once again, thank you for watching The Landing Point, and we look forward to see you on our next story.